mentioned obviously the prescriptive services have increased as a part of the business here. Maybe you can walk us through kind of the dynamic and structure of that element and how you price and
Sure.
plan those out, deliver those to your customers.
Sure. So the prescriptive services side of things really comes down to, in a very simple term, it's just a lot of custom computer programming is what it is. And you just have to look at the ability to gain efficiency with it. So through the years, what used to take a long period of time to create a variable rate seating prescription, for instance, with efficiency and with people and with knowledge that grows from our team, we're able to bring that piece down to a smaller amount of time and still deliver a better quality product than what we used to do. So that's just a piece that lets us build on it. And that's really been the mentality, whether it was when we started in the early days with nothing but a grid soil sampling program, or when we started adding equipment to the lineup, or any of those pieces. It just really comes down to the fact that we have to be multi-layered on who can supply the background work for that, so that we're not relying on one person stopping workflow. And as long as we can keep the workflow flowing, and we can do it for locally as a co-op, as long as we can do it for a market reasonable price, that's what we're after. The benefits of when things get tight is that you have to roll up your sleeves and look for the efficiency that's out there. And $7 corn was a great thing. It let a lot of people update facilities, update hardware, and the things that we need to do on a regular basis to stay relevant in the market. But we also bought a lot of technology that we bought just for the sake of having technology. It didn't really have to justify itself out there with an ROI. It didn't have to do a lot of things other than be convenient. Now we're back to the point with the way that commodities are today, that it's not just about what that piece of hardware does for it or what that prescription does for me. It's about the people understanding my operation and my goals, so that the reason that is put in place is linear with my business plan, linear with the grower's business plan, so that they know that they're building a compounding of investments and not building a silo of investments over here and a silo of investments over here, and not necessarily having them come together and provide that synergy effect to multiply the return on investment.
Sure. When you're looking at, obviously, the growth and the goals that you guys have in this area of the business, what do you view as maybe some of the biggest challenges to continuing that growth?
Sure. I think one of the biggest challenges that we face right now comes from what I call the Silicon Valley money coming into agriculture. We have a lot of people that have invested in agriculture in the last few years that are not from an agricultural base. They don't necessarily have the long-term view of what agriculture is, and they're here with great intentions. They have a noble purpose of improving the economy, but maybe don't understand the cyclical nature of our business, and that this thing has its peaks and valleys, and it can switch back and forth relatively quickly, or that it can take long-term effects. So with those multinationals coming in, obviously they have a much bigger budget to market with. They have a much bigger budget to put development resources in place and things like that go out there and provide solutions for growers, especially from the prescriptive services side of things. The inverse of that, though, is that they don't have the boots on the ground. They don't have people that have had their fingers in that dirt on that farm, that understand where that family came from, where the history of this piece of dirt is, and things like that, to really circle back around and understand that not every grower's motivation is top yield and producing the most bushels they can. Some guys are grain farmers because they need it for livestock. Some guys there's all sorts of different motives that exist out there. And when it's a computer spitting out a prescription and delivering it wirelessly to a grower, there's a lot of things that happen in the background on that farm that don't have an opportunity to influence that final product. And that, I think, is really where our differential advantage continues to be. We have to improve our game to be on par with the speed and the things that they can do with that Silicon Valley investments and the technology that they're bringing into agriculture. We have to stay relevant in the market. We can't afford to fall behind. But at the same point in time, we've got a differential advantage that we have to capitalize there too.
Mm-hmm. Good. Well, very good visiting with you here, Keith, today. And congratulations again on the 2018 Most Valuable Dealership honor.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks.